Do you want to find out why electricity is cheaper at the beginning of the month than towards the end of the month? Then listen very carefully. Hi there, it's Zola here. In this video, I'm going to share with you 7 ways you should be saving money in 2023. These are not some airy-fairy ways to save money, but actual strategies that I use personally that if you apply them, you will see results within the next weeks and definitely within the next month. So stay tuned because you are watching the Financial Metaverse. Tip number 1, maximize bank reward programs. All the major banks in South Africa have their own reward programs. FNB has probably by far the most popular reward program known as eBucks. Absa has their own reward program known as Absa Rewards. Standard Bank has UCount. Capitec not too long ago launched their own reward program. Nedbank I'm sure has their own. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to focus on FNB's eBucks and how I managed to save a significant amount of money every month. Just recently, like literally over the past month, I've managed to accumulate over 500 rands worth of eBucks, which is sufficient to cover all my banking transactions and then some for spending money, pocket money, as it were. So how do you maximize your bank's reward program? The answer is actually quite simple. Just invest a little bit of time learning how your reward program actually works. Of course, with eBucks, the higher tier you are in, the more eBucks you earn. So your goal is to work towards getting to the highest tier as quickly as possible so that you can get maximum rebates on your spend. Now with FNB's eBucks, there are 5 tiers or levels. I'm currently on level 2, and even at level 2, I was still able to accumulate 500 Rand, just over 500 Rand in eBucks. Because my goal is to move up to level 4 as quickly as possible, possibly within the next 2 to 3 months. I think I can achieve that goal. At that level, I could probably quadruple the amount of rebates that I earn at my current spend. So just one practical example in terms of how to maximize bank reward programs and how taking time to understand how the reward program works will actually allow you to maximize the benefit that you gain from the rewards program. For example, with the FNB eBucks, I knew that I could get rebates when I fill up my fuel at Engen garages, but I did not know that I had to actually link my vehicle on the app and also purchase the fuel via the tap to pay functionality on the FNB app. So for quite some time, I was missing out on all these points just because I did not know that piece of information. So when I realized that instead of earning 40 cents per liter, now I earn 2 Rand per liter. My car's tank is 60 liters. On average, a month, I probably use about 80 liters of fuel. So you do the math, 80 times 2 is 160 Rand. So just on the fuel alone, I get on average about 160 Rand. Sometimes if I make long trips, it could be close to double that amount. So just learning and taking time to learn and understand how your rewards program work within this month could allow you to get significant rebates back in cash that you can be able to spend within the next month or 2. Like with the eBucks, I can spend it in most of the partner retailers like Shoprite, Checkers, Engen Garage to fill up fuel, Clicks, and all the other retail partners that are part of the eBucks program. And it's a very useful thing to have indeed. And this year, what I've decided to do is actually let my eBucks accumulate, and I'll probably spend them for gifts and that kind of thing, or traveling or entertainment towards the end of the year. Tip number 2, maximize retail store reward programs. Almost every major retailer in South Africa has a rewards program. Shoprite Checkers has one, Spar has one, Pick n Pay has one, Clicks has one, Woolworths has one, and you can name it. All of these can be maximized to your advantage if you just learn the rules of how to do it. So the reward programs that I use and try to maximize personally are Spar, Pick n Pay, Dis-Chem, and Clicks. And how do I do this? It is simple. I make sure that I carry my rewards card every time I go to these shops to make it easier for myself, because I often in the past used to forget to carry these cards with me, and then I forfeit all those points or whatever that I could accumulate. I've downloaded them on one single app. I'll leave the link to the app in the description below, which you can download on your smart device and then be able to scan the physical card on the phone, and it will be able to store the data or the barcode in your phone on the app, so that when you get to the teller or the cashier to pay, you can just simply take out your smartphone and scan the barcode to get credited the amount of points and so on. That has helped a great deal and has allowed me to accumulate a lot of these points at a far faster pace than what I used to in the past, merely by the fact that I have the card always with me when I do shop. The other tip I can give you is with Pick n Pay's reward program. If you open a TymeBank account, and you will notice that there's a TymeBank kiosk in pretty much all the Pick n Pay shops that you can go to. TymeBank has a loyalty program with Pick n Pay that allows you to earn double the amount of points that you would ordinarily earn if you're using the regular Pick n Pay rewards program. So if you have a TymeBank account, you can double the rate at which you can accumulate the points at Pick n Pay, which as soon as I learned that, I opened a TymeBank account and I primarily use it for those purposes. Tip number 3. Look into your bank fees. Now I know most of us can get comfortable and loyal with one bank just because we've used that bank. Especially with more senior people, they get so used to one bank and they even would say, well, Standard Bank is my bank or NetBank is my bank and so on. Let me tell you, you are not married to a bank. You can just simply switch and change. It's so much easier and simple nowadays to switch to any bank that can give you more value for your bucks. I recently switched not too long ago to FNB. Initially, I was using Capitec as my primary transaction account. So when I realized that if I effectively utilize the eBucks rewards program, I could earn back all the transactional fees and bank charges that I would incur on my transactional account. So when I discovered that, it was an easy decision to switch. Plus, at the time, FNB had a promotion that if I switched to them, I would earn 2,000 Rand merely as a compensation for me switching to them. So it was a no-brainer to me. That month, I scored 2,000 Rand merely for switching bank accounts. So when I looked at it, that would cover my transaction fees for at least 6 to 8 months. Plus, with the eBucks program, I was now actually being paid to bank with FNB. This is not me promoting FNB by any stretch of imagination. This is because I'm sharing my personal experience. You can choose any bank that you feel suits your personality, your style, and has the features and benefits that will allow you to maximize those reward programs and allow you to profit thereby. Tip number 4, look into your short-term insurance. If you have a short-term insurance policy that you have not reviewed in the past 6 to 12 months, it's time you do it now. I can almost guarantee you will save money once you take that action. Sometimes, like me, you may just have been comfortable dealing with one insurer for an extended period of time and you never thought about shopping around and looking at what other insurers can give you. But I can guarantee you that if you made some few phone calls, you will save on your short-term insurance. Recently, I switched short-term insurance. I was paying close to 1,000 Rand a month on my vehicle. I think that's the only asset that was covered in that short-term insurance. And when I switched to the current insurer, which is Naked, I'm paying about 750 Rand, believe it or not. And the excess on that insurance is very low at 1,500 Rand, comprehensive cover. And Naked is making use of technology, which allows you to actually sign up with them via their online platform without even necessarily talking to an agent, as it's the case with many of the major insurers. And it has a function that I think is such a money saver, a benefit, which allows you to pause your insurance cover for accidental damage. So for instance, if you are not using your car is stationary, it's parked at home or in your office or in any secure location, and you'll be going away for a couple of days or weeks or whatnot, you can simply pause your insurance on the app and it will reduce your premium considerably, and Naked will actually adjust your premium for those particular days that you were not covered for accidental causes and give you a refund for those particular days that the car was not being insured for accidental causes. And it makes perfect sense because, I mean, if your car is stationary, parked in a secure location, there's no risk in it being in a collision or an accident. You are covered for the other risks, of course, but not for accidental damage due to a collision. I would definitely suggest that you at least check out Naked. I will leave their link in the description below. Tip number 5, look into your long-term insurance. Now, I will use an analogy that was taught to me by my high school teacher who taught me first aid, who said to me about first aid, and he's an Afrikaans guy, and he says in a very staunch or deep Afrikaans voice, he says, knowing first aid is like having a gun. You don't want to have to use it. And that was exactly how he said it. I'll never forget it. And insurance is kind of like that. Having insurance is like having a gun. You don't want to have to use it, but when it's there, it's a great benefit to you. So you want to make sure that you are adequately insured and protected. At the same time, you want to ensure that you pay the least amount possible for quality insurance that will pay when a covered or insured event arises. There's many ways in which you can cut costs with your long-term insurance, such as for your life, disability, severe illness, dread disease, and so on. If you have not reviewed your long-term insurance in at least the past year, it's about time you do it. And I can almost guarantee you again, you will save money on that. Now, I've been in the insurance game as a profession for a very long time, and the majority of clients that I come across are overpaying for the insurance and not getting nearly as much value as they could get if they did a little bit of shopping around and restructuring or reshuffling their insurance policies. And of course, insurers frequently adjust their insurance rates based on mortality rates that fluctuate over time and typically tend to improve over time. For instance, with COVID, a lot of insurers adjusted their rates upwards, which means that people who took insurance after the COVID or during the COVID period probably were charged at higher rates. But now that we've discovered that COVID is actually nowhere near as serious as we thought it might be, those rates have probably been adjusted by many of the major insurers. You may find that if you quote for the same amount of covers that you would have taken 2 years ago during the COVID period, if you do it now, keeping all the other variables the same, the premium may be lower now than it would have been around between 2020 to 2022. But one of the things that I've done personally to benefit from my long-term insurance is to link it with a reward program. So some insurers have reward programs that are linked to them. The reward program that I use is called Sanlam Reality, which gives me a 7.5% currently as a rebate on my long-term insurance premiums. If I just work a little bit on that reward program to move up the reward tier to silver and then gold, I can get 15% if I'm on silver and 30% if I'm on gold on my insurance premiums. So as I said, currently I'm receiving 7.5% rebate on my insurance premium by being on the Sanlam Reality program. I must say that I'm really enjoying that program because it allows me to have free access into the airport lounges with Bidvest. So over the past couple of weeks, I've been traveling quite a bit. I've been to Durban, to Johannesburg, to Cape Town, and then to Mauritius as well. So in all those trips, I've been having the privilege to, just sit very comfortably while waiting for my flight at one of the airport lounges and enjoy very nice meals and drinks and good company with friends and colleagues that I've been traveling with. So I've found that rewards program very useful. On top of that, it allows me to have up to 5 months free with Showmax. So I've been maximizing that benefit as well. So for the past 5 months, almost a year now, because my entire family is on the program. So I used the first 5 months on my personal name with Showmax, 5 months. And then once that expired, I used my wife's 5 months. So almost a year that I haven't had to pay Showmax, that is still running as we speak. So that is saving quite a significant amount compared to the premium that I'm paying for the reward program. So it's actually paid for itself many times over already. Tip number 6, repair any leaks around the home. Don't procrastinate repairing water leaks around the home. This has cost me personally a significant amount of money because I was not prepared to just spend the money to fix everything that needed to be fixed so that I could save on the water bill. So every month I was watching this water bill creeping up higher and higher, and I knew that it was due to these water leaks, but I simply did not want to spend the money to replace a lot of these items like old taps, the old style bathrooms that needed to be replaced, so that I could save on the water. And now that I've done that, the water bill has reduced tremendously, significantly. I can tell you that if you got leaks or got old taps or old bathrooms that are guzzling your water, you need to replace and repair them. You just need to spend the money to fix the problem. I can guarantee you that over the next few months, you will make that money back with the water savings. And the last tip number 7, buy your power at the beginning of the month. I learned something very interesting quite recently. The way that power is sold to us actually works on a very, I can say it a somewhat complex system, but to put it to you simply, you will actually be charged lesser when you buy your power at the beginning of the month than when you do it towards the end of the month. So one of the reasons why it's cheaper to buy electricity at the beginning of the month than towards the end of the month is due to the fact that electricity prices tend to increase during the course of the month. It's a simple case of demand and supply. As the month progresses, demand for electricity increases, and so does the cost. Therefore, buying electricity earlier in the month, like literally in the first week of the month, can save you money. Try it. Now, I've shown you 7 ways in which you can save money, and as I've said to you, if you apply any of these methods, you will see significant savings literally within the next month or 2. I know this because I've done all of these things that I'm telling you, and if you do them, you will definitely achieve the same or even better results. So if you have any other ways or tips to save money that you can share, please do so in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed this content, please let me know by liking this video and leaving a comment below. If you enjoy the content in this channel, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell. And I suggest you watch these videos.
I can feel the pain on my back, yeah. Keep on taking pills every day, yeah. Trying to numb the pain on my back, yeah. Still trying to change on my face.